I don't know if it's the camera or if I was just out of focus. It was probably just because I was out of focus. So, week 2, that's cool. A little bit about myself. I started my journey as a videographer December 2016. And prior to that, I didn't really have any experience. I just had a communications course back in high school where I got to use cameras and stuff. And back at summer camp, I would be able to shoot and edit videos and some other small things here and there, but nothing too crazy. And like anyone trying a new thing, I would Google everything or YouTube terms and learn just from whatever was on the internet. And I remember eventually I stumbled onto this video by, hold on, I forgot his name. Leonardo Delisandri. So he made a video called The Watchtower of Turkey. And okay, I'm just gonna play parts of the video and just comment on it while it's happening. So here it is. So this video came out in 2014. This is before the super popular Daniel Schiffer, really cool transitions happened. I'm just watching this like, how does he do all this stuff? This looks insane. The sound design, it's mad on point, and yeah, it's absolutely crazy. Keep in mind, I saw this when I first started, and yeah, my mind's blown still. Probably holds up pretty well today compared to, I don't know what I'm comparing it to. It holds up pretty well today. I remember watching that video and my jaw hits the floor and I'm just thinking to myself, how did he do half the things that he did? I will never be able to create something like this. I think to this day, I have also never created anything like this, but I want to. So, challenge to myself. Anyway, so at the time, you have to understand I had only maybe 2 paid gigs under my belt. And like, okay, look at my first video. So shout out to Tracy and Victor for letting me shoot this and Jermaine for getting me to shoot this. Yeah, I remember like solo shooting this wedding, 3 different angles. I'm just running around to all of these different angles and just hoping that I got the shot. And, we only have 1 rehearsal. And I'm just like picturing things, hoping like, oh yeah, it's framed up. And then like it's super shaky at the time. There were no electronic gimbals out and I didn't even know what a stabilizer was. Oh, I think, yeah, that was me. And yeah, the lighting is off. The part where we're like in the city, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just following the photographer's lead. Yeah, man, the blurriness. I don't know if it's the camera or if I was just out of focus. It was probably just because I was out of focus. Oh, man. So anyways, I'm watching Watchtower of Turkey after that, looking back on my stuff. I'm like super discouraged just based off of the fact that, man, I see this almost unattainable, unachievable like goal to be this awesome at my craft, and I'm so far away. And I don't know, or I don't remember how, but I stumbled onto this other video, again, while I'm learning, by David Shiyang. I'm just gonna find that real quick, hold on. It's David Shiyang Liu, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Anyways, he created a typography video of an interview from Ira Glass, who's a radio host. I'm just gonna play parts of this video and I'm not gonna say anything because this really put into perspective where I was at in the beginning of my journey.
And I really wish somebody had told this to me, is that all of us who do creative work, like, we get into it, and we get into it because we have good taste. But it's like there's a gap that for the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, okay? It's not that great. It's trying to be good. It has ambition to be good, but it's not quite that good. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit. And the thing I would just like say to you with all my heart is that most everybody I know who does interesting creative work, they went through a phase of years where they had really good taste. They could tell what they were making wasn't as good as they wanted it to be. They knew it felt short. It didn't have this special thing that we wanted it to have. And the thing I would say to you is everybody goes through that. And for you to go through it, if you're going through it right now, if you're just getting out of that phase, you got to know it's totally normal. And the most important possible thing you could do is do a lot of work. Do a huge volume of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week or every month you know you're going to finish one story. Because it's only by actually going through a volume of work that you're actually going to catch up and close that gap. And the work you're making will be as good as your ambitions. It takes a while. It's going to take you a while. It's normal to take a while, and you just have to fight your way through that.
So what I got from that is I have killer taste, but I'm definitely not where I want to be. And there's this giant gap from where I am now to, where I want to be in the future. And the only way to close that gap is to put in the work. And if I want to close the gap even faster, I have to do more work. Just put in the time and learn from your mistakes, learn from your failures. And definitely after watching that first wedding video, I said to myself, man, there are a lot of things that I can improve on, but at least I got this first one out of the way. So here is a more recent wedding video from, I think it was 2018 actually. So just let me show you that real quick. So when I watched this video, to me anyways, it looks 1,000 times better than the first one I ever did. I improved not just, I guess, in my actual filmmaking, but just being able to direct the couple more, work with the photographer that was there instead of just being on the sidelines, just being able to figure things out with them and have time with the couple and to direct them and to just think of really funny, cool things to do with the couple. Even though I didn't really get to see the location prior to that, just with some more experience, I was able to say to myself, oh yeah, this would work, this wouldn't work, just because I had the experience in doing so. And just being able to create these moments with the couple is really special. It's something I definitely wouldn't have been able to do my first time around. Yeah, just capturing these raw emotional moments. I was just so scared to do that the first time around. I was always very self-conscious about being in the way of everyone that was there, even though it was my job to actually capture what was going on. So yeah, I mean, I still look back at it and I say to myself, I'm sure there are things that I could have improved on, and hopefully I've improved on those things up until that point. But I think once you close that gap to where you want to be, then you make for yourself a new goal and you try to close that gap. And I know that even when you do get to where you want to be, sometimes you have imposter syndrome that comes up and you don't feel like you're as good as you actually are. But that's a topic for another time. If you're just getting your feet wet, well, to close that gap, you just have to put in the work. There's no shortcut to get there. I know some people may be naturally talented or naturally gifted, and they probably might get there faster than other people. But for people like me, I'm really average, and for probably most of the people, you just have to put in the work. It's like working out. If you work out often, sometimes you don't see the results, but then 3 months down the line, you look back and you're like, dang, I got some muscle. So let me try to make this more practical and not just theory. If you can, try and create every day, no matter what it is. Maybe you paint, maybe you take pictures, maybe you like to cook and you want to get better at it. But try doing something every day and document it if you can. I think it'd be so cool if you could document daily what your work is like and then just look back. Imagine just posting an archive of all of your work and just seeing it in that way. And once it's out there, whatever happens, happens. If people discover it, then they discover it. But man, I think it'd be so cool. But yeah, I just challenge you, try to create every day if you can. That's what I'm trying to do. And if you can find the accountability to create, then reach out to them. And I know sometimes like you feel like you're bothering people, but hopefully you have people in your life that will be willing to hold you accountable in creating something daily or weekly or whatever fits into your schedule. I think I'm rambling on too much now. Anyways, again, I believe in you guys. You guys can do it. And until next time, that's a wrap.